He's pretty good.
Oh, don't put yourself down.
Yeah.
You've got to be confident.
Okay, so we've got the live gameplay now. So we've got Goku versus Android 16.
Right, I'm the one with Goku.
Do you want to talk
Now,
us through any of the...
I've only just learned, that having watched that trailer, that Android 16 was in the game.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know he was in. So
already,
I'm
flabbergasted. I'm happy to just sit there and watch the gameplay
yeah,
and
so
not
if we
say
just
anything.
sit in silence, but no.
But I'm sure, please take us through your, some of the design elements of the game and the battling and how it all works. Like,
yeah, of course, it's a 3 versus 3 fighting game, which is the base of this new fighting Dragon Ball experience. And that brings the whole deepness of the gameplay, since you obviously cannot master just one character. You have to improve your skill on different fighters and to do some interesting combination of fighting styles to build a dream team.
So I've actually been privileged enough to play this in the UK at Bandai, and I noticed you can do things like father-son Kamehameha with Gohan and Goku. And
right, maybe we can do it now.
Yeah, I can try it. But yeah, exactly. There's this kind of, Dragon Ball fan service with all several secret animation. Look at this.
Look at that.
The father-son Kamehameha. And that's just one of many examples of the kind of animation you can trigger, even in the introduction scene of the fighters. If you are taking certain characters, you can have something different.
Even tiny. Sorry, it's so cool. There's these little if somebody fires a little energy blast and you deflect it, it goes into the background and destroys a piece of the background. It's just,
exactly.
It's too good.
And it's even going further, if you're doing the very ultimate attack, you're almost destroying the whole planet.
Yeah. So obviously, the whole Dragon Ball series has got so many characters. How did you decide which ones? Obviously Goku, Vegeta, all the Saiyans, but how did you decide which characters to put in the game?
Right, that's a tricky question. Actually, as you can see, as far as the characters that we announced are the basic one, the most famous one. So we have all the science arc characters with Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. But then choosing the characters is also based on their style, their fighting style. For example, C15, Android 15 that we have now, he's the good, the big guy, the heavy guy. So he has his moveset that is different from other characters. So we are thinking about the moveset also when we are selecting the characters, definitely.
I suppose you've got to think about game balance, and obviously Vegeta does vary from Goku, but they are basically the same. They are Saiyan.
Right. They are Saiyan, but still, as you said, some are faster than the other, some are stronger than the other. So that makes the gameplay different.
And you've got Trunks as well.
Yes,
of course. And Trunk is actually a very good example of how different can get the science, because he's using the sword. So you have all kind of combos and attacks using the sword, and you can trigger some pretty amazing stuff.
I was upset that we've not seen Chaozu yet.
Oh yeah,
sorry for that.
Well, I'm not sure how we look like that. But we still have Krillin.
Yeah. Krillin's in. That's cool.
Krillin's in. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Can't reveal.
I'll try and get the sneaky nuggets.
Well, yeah, it's just trying. So it's 3v3, so you can switch out your characters basically as and when. If one's too damaged, you can switch them out, right? Is that how it works, or are they in until they're out?
You can call them in and out, and you can call them in for combo attacks.
Okay, so you can switch them out freely and combo them how you like.
Yeah, exactly. So actually you have kind of bar that you're charging, and when it's full you can change the character, and then you have to wait a bit.
Oh, I see. So there's a cooldown.
Exactly, a cooldown to switch the characters, but obviously they're also changing when one of your characters is dying. So
excellent. And what about transformations? What can we say on that? Have we got transformations in here? For example, Frieza I can see is in almost final form. Is there another one after that? Is there a gold one? Can you get Frieza in his base form and then going up? Is that how it works?
Actually, in the game we have Frieza in his final form. Okay. But as an ultimate attack, we have his golden form as well. But it's pretty much the only one having that, because the other is pretty good enough.
They basically
not have their strong. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Just as I know in similar other Dragon Ball games you had it where you could sort of power up mid-fight and keep going up and up.
For example, if you take the example of Super Saiyan Goku, you cannot transform and stay in this form during the fight, but you can trigger the ultimate Kamehameha, and for this specific attack is transforming into Super Saiyan 3 exactly, and launching this super devastating attack. So that's an example of how the transformation have been implemented in the game while still keeping the balance for all characters.
I understand.
I was just mesmerised by Destructo Disc then.
It makes sense to do that, I guess, because otherwise you'd have literally hundreds and hundreds. If you made them all separate characters, you'd have obviously hundreds of variants, and then the transformations as well. If it transforms and they're just simply more powerful and the other guy just doesn't have a chance, I suppose it's simply not fair.
Exactly.
So basically the transformations are based around a move set essentially, which I think makes sense. But for this type of game, which I assume is, is going to be very competitive as well. Are you guys looking into getting into like competitive scene with this kind of game?
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question because we had a lot of discussion about that, and clearly our approach on the competitive topic is we don't want to impose the game to the fighting community. Really want to let them try the game, to let them see if the game is worth doing competition on that, and to acquire some grassroots legitimacy on the competitive scene. And so far so good, honestly. From E3 to EVO, it has been quite incredible feedback.
That's excellent. But there's a man in my head telling me that we're not allowed to keep playing this, which I'm